Hi everyone, welcome to lesson 4/5 of the Set 1E chapter 6 graph. Alright, you have the notes review. So previously you have learned how to plot points and how to draw a linear graph. Okay, linear means a straight line. Okay, for this part we're going to talk about the gradient, okay, as well as finding the equation of the straight line. Right, so uh, objective, okay, for this part, basically define gradient, knowing what's gradient. Secondly, how do we find the gradient? Okay, so know the gradient, find the gradient. Okay, next, okay, how to differentiate the different type of gradient, as well as deduce the general formula for finding gradient. Right, so there were two types of formula. Okay, they meant the same actually. One is improved version of the other. Right, and then the last one is basically how do we interpret and find the equation of a straight line in the form y equals to mx plus c. Okay, which towards the end you're going to take a look. So on notes over here, you see that there are below, okay, connect. So there are three different color buildings. Now, hunting, sorry. So basically, over here you can see that they are like tying a string, okay, to the pavilion. Okay, see, so blur. Yeah, so tying to the pavilion. Now, so as you can see, which line is the steepest, right? First question is which line is the steepest? Or based on observation, basically it's line AB. Okay, AB is the steepest, right? Now, so in mathematics, right, measuring the steepness of it. Okay, measuring the steepness of the line segment, it is basically defined as the gradient. Okay, we call it the gradient. So gradient basically means finding the steepness of a line. Right, so now there are different types of the types of straight lines and their gradient. So over here you see four boxes. Well, you need to draw them. Right, so one is called the types of straight lines and their gradient. So horizontal line. Okay, there's a horizontal line. Right, so this type of gradient, okay, draw it horizontally. So this type, my gradient is 0. Okay, my gradient is 0. Alright, so steepness is just like I'm saying, okay, a flat ground. What's the steepness? Oh, 0. There's no going up or going down. It's flat. Okay, flat means 0 gradient, right? There's no steepness to it. Now, then let's talk about the okay, vertically upwards. So let's say going upwards like this. Alright, so this type of line, what do we call it? Alright, types of straight line. So this type of line going up. Now, how do I know is it going up and or down? Alright, see, I'm using my pen here. Go from left to right. I go from left to right, right? Do you see the point that it touches my pen? It goes higher and higher. In short, I look from left to right. I look from left to right. It is going upwards. It's going upwards. So my gradient, right? My gradient is positive. Okay, so my gradient is positive. Okay, that is a positive gradient. Right, then now next I have the other type that is going downwards. Same thing. You see, compare the two differences. Okay, going downwards. So my in this case is going up is positive, coming down will be negative. Okay, so going downwards is negative. So upwards is positive, downwards is negative. So if someone say, oh, I have a negative gradient, that means it's downward sloping. Okay, it's downwards going. Right, and then lastly I have the vertical line. Okay, vertical line, like basically at the y-axis. Vertical line. Now vertical line is just like a cliff, right, or the wall. Okay, the wall in the classroom, in your rooms now. What steepness would you describe that? Okay, what steepness would you tell someone? Alright, like have you heard of anyone saying, oh, this cliff is very steep? No, right? So basically over here there is, okay, no gradient. Okay, there is no gradient. Okay, there's no gradient to talk about. Okay, there is no steepness to talk about. Okay, later we're going to talk about why there's no gradient. Take note of the difference between these two. 0 gradient and no gradient. there are two different things. Zero gradient, there is a gradient, just that the value is 0. Right, no gradient strictly means there is no measurements for it, there's no value for it. Alright, there's no value for it. Alright, so going to pause here. Okay, look at the next part of video to talk about how are we going to find the gradient of the line. Alright.